Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Orange County Funding Corporation meeting for September 18th of 2024. I have a time of 5:08 p.m. I'll call the meeting to order and ask everybody to pledge allegiance to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Bill.
Okay, Jeffrey Christ.
Here.
Dean Tamburri.
Here.
Susan Walski.
Here.
Linda Muller.
Here.
Mark Green.
Here.
Giovanni Palladino.
Here.
Did I say Susan Walski? I did, thank you. All right. When we have one excused absence, Dr. Odock is sick tonight. So we have 6 out of 7 members here present. We also have staff, myself, Bill Fioravanti, Kelly Riley, Marty Barras, Mr. Jose Rojas from Acquisitions Marketing doing our AV, and we have a few guests. We have Ms. Lisa Coughlin from Anshin, our monitor. We have Mr. Pat Manning and Zaida Neshua from MHCC, and we have Mr. Dan Birmingham, who we'll introduce in a few minutes. Did I get everyone? I did.
Thank you all for being here. And I would indicate the proof of notice was in our packet on page 3, properly noticing this meeting. And I would ask for that introduction of Dan Birmingham and welcome him. Bill?
Yes, terrific. It's my pleasure to introduce Dan Birmingham to the entire board. Dan is our bond counsel. He's with Hawkins, Delafield, and Wood. He was part of our RFP process, so we're very, very impressed by them. So we're excited to have him on going forward. Unfortunately, I don't have too much OCFC business for you yet, but we're really happy for you to be a part of the team. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Would you like to address the group?
Sure, of course, thank you. Well, first of all, thank you for having me here tonight, and I'm pleased to be working with the OCFC. As Bill was saying, I'm Dan Birmingham with Hawkins, Delafield, and Wood. I live in Putnam County, but our office is in New York City, and we represent quite a few IDAs and local development corps throughout the state, ranging from everywhere from the New York City IDA all the way to Poughkeepsie IDA and some IDAs in between. And I'm a native of Putnam County and Hudson Valley guy, proud and true, and looking forward to working with the group and being of assistance to the corporation. So again, thanks for having me here today and look forward to working with you all. Thank you
so much, Dan.
Thank you.
We look forward to working with you, Dan. Appreciate it. Minutes from the August 14th, 2024 board meeting. Any additions, corrections, motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Motion to approve by Linda, second to that motion. Mark Green, thank you. Other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
I'm going to abstain. I was not present for the meeting.
Thank you, Susan. So we have 5 for, 1 abstention, and 1 absence, if I counted right. Committee reports. Finance Committee was the one committee that took place since the last meeting. And Mark Green, please.
Thank you. Quickly, as far as our actuals and our budget for FC, everything is in line with previous months, so really nothing to report there. But we did have a CD that's coming due, and so we had to make some adjustments. Because of the interest rate cut today and the future interest rates, so we're going to extend out to a longer term to get a better rate. But also, based on what we think is going to happen during our discussion, we wanted to make sure that we kept enough powder dry if we did have any projects that we needed to address tonight. And that really is about it.
So I believe we need a motion to approve, and did you detail what that motion was for the CD?
I
Just
did
for the
not.
board? We might want to
All right,
cover that
So
decision.
the first motion was to, the CD that's coming due today will be roughly $563,000. We are going to roll over roughly $450,000 into a 9-month CD at the best rate possible. Right now, we're hoping for roughly 4%. But again, based on today's 50 basis point cut, we're just going to get the best we can. The second, so those are the motions, and that's so the team is approved to invest the CD at $450,000, and keep roughly $225,000 in our checking account for any potential opportunities that we need. Is that good enough?
I believe so. Sue, we kind of broke up the amount of the new CD from the part we need to keep in our checking, which Mark just described. In finance, we did a separate motion for that from the actual motion to determine the next CD investment. Would you like us to
I
keep?
think how Mark phrased it right now is a perfectly good motion to make. So if somebody wants to make that motion as he said it forward, if you need it repeated, I can repeat it for you, but
Just say so moved.
he did a fine job.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, second to that motion?
I'll second.
Second, thank you. Other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, 6-0, I believe. And then on the actual CD recommendation from the committee, we would do a separate motion on that, I believe, right?
We certainly can.
Or did we, was that included?
I think
it's included.
Oh, okay.
I think we're.
I think it's included.
Okay, excellent. I wasn't sure if that was completely clear, but it sounds like it is. And then I believe we need a motion on the financials for August 2024, as well as approval of the August-September payables. I believe we can do that motion together. Mark did a high-level review of those. Would anyone care to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Giovanni makes a motion.
I'll second that.
Second, Susan Wolski, thank you. Any other discussion on those financials and payables? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. And our other piece of business for today's OCFC meeting is the MHCC Ice Time Facility. And Bill, let me have you bring that up to speed for us.
Yes, just a reminder, of course, these gentlemen were here. Thank you for being with us again. They were with us last month. We had a robust discussion about it. I'll just remind you that we had a letter request on August 19th from MHCC requesting up to $320,000 to pay the cost of acquiring personal property consisting of bathrooms, heating, light, and sound improvements, bleachers, and a platform for use in the arena. The reasons, the benefits that would result from this investment are the reasons that I asked you to consider for supporting this. First of all, it would increase public access to this ice time facility dramatically. It would grow to 8 a.m. to midnight to allow people access to the ice, which is ever great demand. It would also result in a direct increase in job creation. Right now they have 5 full-time people and 19 part-time. They project that increasing as a result of this expansion to 17 full-time and 65 part-time, so a huge increase in employment. We would see an increase in sales tax as a result of this, bed tax from what it would result in from hotel occupancy and such, and economic activity for restaurants, hotels, gas stations, and so on and so forth. And of course, it would be a huge tourism boost. We had the Orange County Director of Tourism and Film in here, Amanda Dana, and she was certainly touting what the impact of a professional hockey team could do to the area. So those are the benefits that I wanted to enumerate for you, but really wanted to open up the floor to have this discussion and hopefully some sort of resolution on support for this in response to this request.
And I might just note that there's been quite a bit of work and thought process. Thank you for the responses to our further questions, gentlemen. Thank you, Sue, for doing this draft resolution, you and Jean. I support a level of funding towards this, and we'll need to bring up a number shortly of what everybody's thinking is. We also heard from the county exec at our previous meeting in support along the lines of what you were pointing out, Bill. So would anyone care to take the discussion from there?
Well, I also know this facility did produce an ice skater that made it to the U.S. Nationals, which is an impressive feat in itself.
Sure.
I come from a skating background where my Friday nights were spent at the skating rink. So I fully support this 110%. I know not only bringing in talented ice skaters and attracting that kind of, figure skating is a massive sport, so the potential to bring in higher quality trainers to attract more talent is huge.
In addition to that, it can be used for a lot of other things.
Absolutely.
Besides ice skating and future venues, which are not available in Orange County right now. Seems like an important asset that matches our mission to improve the quality of life here in Orange County.
Do we have like the legislative, have they written us in support of like?
We haven't requested it. We have not.
From the county.
More from the executive branch. Mark, I talked to each of you, and I know you had some specific ideas. I don't know if you want to share about.
Yeah, you know, I am, while I'm not 110% with Susan, I am fully supportive of us helping and trying to, A, revitalize ice time, and B, you know, get a professional hockey team for our area. So, you know, I also feel that, you know, the amount of money we're talking about, excuse me, I would like to tie to some of the assets that we're talking about. So I feel strongly that whatever we contribute to this endeavor is attached to specific assets. And that I don't know what the proper term is, maybe you can help me out, but there are some provisions that, you know, we want to continue to see commitment by Ice Time and the it is the Venom, correct?
Yes.
All right, I want to make sure I
Thank you.
and I've been
Just check out the
and I've been
jersey.
selling you hard, just so you know.
Thank you.
You know, that you know, commitment that both Ice Time and the Venom continue their commitment to our community. Therefore, the assets that we help them attain either become a future part of it, or we have the ability to claw back. Is that again the correct word?
Yes.
So, for me, looking at the requests of everything that's been requested, and please, if you disagree, I'm all for a discussion. I feel strongly that the two assets that I feel that are most important to lift this off the ground right now are the bleachers, to get paying customers in there for revenue, and equally as important, the bathrooms. Because you can sell out those bleachers day one, but if you don't have proper facilities, those people aren't coming back. And so what I initially read was that, you know, they wanted the portable bathrooms, and I would like some sort of feature that if we do go forward with this, that says as they continue their success and they start building out their facility and putting permanent bathrooms in, well then, to be perfectly blunt, I would like those bathrooms to be used for our county, for our emergency services, for our events, whatever the case may be. So that is one thing that I would like to discuss. As far as the bleachers go, I think I would like to see some sort of depreciation. So year one, if you know, things aren't moving forward, that frankly we get paid back for that. Year two, it's you know, let's call it 25% or 33% depreciation. Year three, you know, however we want to discuss that. But that's how I would like to approach whatever decisions we make.
So I did discuss with council the idea of recapture or clawback if certain milestones aren't met, and those are provisions that would be put into a memorandum of understanding between us and MHCC if a contribution is approved.
So I've been talking a lot. Maybe someone else can talk.
I just want to notify, if I could, the request was for $320,000, and it was itemized. $96,000 for bathrooms, $90,000 for heating, $55,000 for lighting and sound improvements, $64,000 in bleachers, and $15,000 for a platform. And I will say that after discussing this issue with all the board members, I did we did get some indication. We wrote the resolution for not to exceed 160,000, which is basically the addition of bathrooms and bleachers. The total of those two line items is 160. Again, based upon the feedback, it seemed like that was palatable. Sue, did you want to chime in?
Yeah, I just want to say a couple of things for the record and for the board. I want to note that the owner has demonstrated or represented that they have put in $150,000 of their own capital to make improvements to the facility so far, both to the restaurant and the kiosks for food and general other improvements to the facility. So that I think it's important to know that they have been using their own capital to improve the facility. We heard from the county at the last meeting that they are actively trying to increase sports tourism to the area, which this is something they are hoping that this facility has the ability to do. As you know, this organization is designed to lessen the burdens of government, and so we know from the county that that's one of the things they're trying to do, and for all of the reasons Bill said, it increases access to your constituents, it increases and draws people from outside the region, it increases sales tax and use tax to the region, and throws off all sorts of economic development in terms of hotel stays, restaurants, etc. So, as Bill noted, the request was for $320,000. The recommendation by staff to this board is an amount not to exceed $160,000. If the board approves that, it would be allocated to, as Bill noted, and I think as Mark was alluding to, the bathroom improvements and the bleachers. The way it works is it's requesting your authorization to enter into an agreement with the arena, and that agreement would have the terms of the disbursement of the funds in there. We would recommend that it would be a reimbursable type situation, so they would acquire the equipment or the materials, and then they could demonstrate that to you, and if they actually paid those costs, you could reimburse them. If they ordered them and asked you to repay their vendor, you could do that, but they would be responsible for ordering and installing all of the personality that we're talking about. So I just wanted to lay that out in terms of what the recommendation is to the board, and some of the additional information in terms of what's been spent so far, what the county is looking to achieve, and what the goals of the organization are.
Very helpful. So, any other comments, questions, thoughts? Gio?
Just one, it's kind of like a selfish comment, but I think if we do move forward with this, we should talk about some sort of memorial or marker that identifies the contribution of the OCFC. It's just something we've always talked about, and I think this might be a
I agree, some sort of
Would you
band,
like
something, help funded
something
by,
more
something
permanent,
by,
right.
yes.
I would like it right on the bathroom doors, if possible.
Goal number 2.
Shows our support. That was a joke.
And just some type of permanent marker. Yeah, we could actually do short-term a dashboard with the IDA logo and a thank you to the IDA logo. And then something more permanent when the building is finished, we can do something permanent like we did over Dutchess Stadium, where it's there for the
Drop
generations.
the first pop.
That's already
Drop the first buck.
Somebody
I want to be in the
has
game.
My comments on it is like, this is like the first time that I recall some sort of request, right, of this size and whatnot. So I don't know, it seems like, this is obviously the money's for the county, right? And this is investments for the county. But should we put some sort of like guidelines on some of this, approvals, like for if other people start coming forward that they have to have that, or is it just kind of like our discretion at this point, or do we have approval that the legislature is in agreement that because we kind of work under that under them and whatnot. So before we do this. So
That's
what
an
my
interesting
comments
idea.
are. I don't know.
May not be able to hash that out tonight, I wouldn't think so,
I
but
understand that, I get
something
it.
to develop,
I'm
some sort
for
of,
the future, whatever, but it was just something I was thinking about, so that
I like
we
that.
all know that in writing that we are on the same page as everybody said. Somebody had said it, they agree, they don't agree with it, and as soon as we cut this check or we leave this evening, we're getting it, you know, in different vibe or feedback from another agency of the county, whatever. That's all, just first off. I don't see any issue with it for myself. This is what it's for the county. But I would like to have those assurances with some of the other items going on. That seems like we're trying our best to move the county forward, and then we get bad publicity for different items and with all good intent going forward. That's all.
Linda?
I think the only thing we could get from them is that we agree with the county's vision. I don't think we're gonna get a whole lot more than that.
Why couldn't like
Because this really isn't a county issue, and this is a private business.
I understand, but will we work for the, I'm referring to, I know, Bill and Jeff attend the committee meeting for the county.
Economic Development Committee,
Economic
right.
Development, who we give updates to, et cetera. From I would like to have a, to me, it would be like, hey, Economic Development, a letter about we support this project and the OCFC, that's all.
Mr. Chair, I have a different
Yes.
question.
Yep, go ahead.
The total project cost is $320. We pay $160, leaves $160 open. How does that get closed? There'll be a balance of
That was
$160.
my next
Did you hear that
Can-
question?
I'm sorry, restate that, please.
She was wondering about the difference between the 320
And the $160.
and the 160 if we agree as a board to do that. Where does that other money come from to complete the project?
The shortfall, where's the shortfall
I-
from?
Sue?
Right, but I think some of those items may be longer lead time items. They may be things that they can do in stages. They can raise additional capital, assuming that the projections they have are accurate. They will generate greater revenue as a result of the improvements that you're going to support and that are supported by the county. You know what? I think the improvements you make are going to have the impact you're hoping they will have. Those additional improvements will come, when they can find the money, unless someone from the organization has already identified another source of that funding. I don't necessarily think that they have to have all of the improvements at once, but maybe we can ask them.
I'm looking, you talked at great length about the heating issue at the last time you were here. That's a non-funding, excuse me. How are you gonna handle that for opening?
Currently, the ice rinks operate without it. It's just a little bit uncomfortable for the guests, and so it's not that we can't open for business without it. It's to be in line with most modern rinks. It would be nice to have, and have recurring customers and recurring fans, and it's not something that we plan to give up on. It's going to take us a little longer to achieve that goal.
I guess from a marketing standpoint, you usually only get one chance to make a good impression. And if the customers are not gonna be comfortable, as you said, they might be uncomfortable,
Sure.
will they come back if that isn't addressed?
That is a concern. Not being facetious, it's a concern. The platform, the $15,000 platform, we can do without.
Right, I remember
The
that.
sound, lighting, and the heat are make an impression to the fans, as you're saying, whether they'll continue or they'll find it too cold or too uncomfortable in order to want to come back again. But if they can't hear, or it's garbled, if it feels dark inside, there's a couple things. It's just it's issues we'll have to overcome. But yeah, it's a concern. The platform we can do without. Those other things, we're 27 days out. We're scrambling to make sure that we do what we can to make it a welcoming first
And you're not
impression.
receiving any support from the county, are you?
They can't until, we're here until next year. They have to set up a I don't know what the proper word was, they have to set up a way to, in order to support projects such as this. And we're gonna look at the larger expansion of the facility, or season 2 and season 3, or what have you. But right now, it's about getting the team in there and getting the fans, seeing what the product is. Every time they do see the product, they react positively, as we saw with, when we did sound and heating changes at the McCann Ice Rink. We had to turn them away at the door. So, you know, it's
Immediate impact on.
immediate impact, because there was, you know, they didn't have to go
another
outside to their car to warm up to come back in, you know, that kind of thing.
Linda?
Being relatively new, I understand that the 160 that we're being asked to authorize would be a grant non-payable back. Is there opportunities for us to float a loan for the remainder, payable over a course of time with a negotiated interest payment?
Yeah, we're both okay with that. Yeah, that would be a huge, huge help to us.
Sue, do you want to chime in there?
I need to go back and check your statutory authority and whether or not you can give loans.
I was say, is there a way we can also keep the door open at least to grant some portion tonight, and then for season 2, to revisit this opportunity and see, you know, the impact that the upgrades have made, and do we want to have a further investment into it?
I'd like to have the answer about whether we can make a loan or not. That to me would be
Ideal.
the easiest way for us to do business.
And I don't think we're gonna get that right now, right, Sue? You need a little research time on that?
I need a few minutes at least, yes. But my recommendation would be, if the board is inclined to approve the monies, then approve what is before you. And because that's what they need immediately. I appreciate what impact will it have on the user experience. Being a hockey mom, I know how cold those rinks can be. But they can come back next month and request if they want additional funding. And by then, we can identify whether or not providing a loan is, within your corporate purposes. That's just my recommendation, because what they need tonight is the money to buy the bleachers and the bathrooms so that they can in fact open on time. Again, the others are niceties in the world of hockey, but that's just my recommendation.
But this just isn't about hockey, this is about open skate time, it's about other things. So my question still is, I understand waiting a month, but again, from a marketing standpoint, you get one chance to make a good impression, and if that impression isn't made at the time it opens, I have concerns about what goes forward.
You're looking at, first of all, your deadline isn't really a deadline. So right now, the reason why we're pushing on this is because the puck drops October 16th.
October 12th preseason game.
Right. So, but, with all due respect, I'm not really that worried about heating until December, right?
Good
And
point.
if you guys are selling and you've got 1,000 people in there, I'm really not that worried about heating. So, something to keep in mind. Now, I know your sound system, I know you'd like that for the experience, but I don't know if that is on the same level as bathrooms and actually having people be able to sit in there. So, I understand what you're saying, but this isn't like some sort of grand opening. And, they're going to miss out on a future hockey tournament or something like that if everything isn't in place by October 15th. So, there is a build out, there is a lag time. So, all right, the puck drops on the 15th, I get it, we'd love it to be perfect, but I don't know if that's our responsibility to do that. They're the ones that are coming to us looking for this money. This isn't,
I was just trying to structure a deal.
Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing less. A loan is good for us, good for them, seems to be a win-win if we can do it.
well, Linda, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know if I'm for the loan.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna say this, we're willing to give $160,000. There's a lot of risk in this. There is downside risk that this endeavor doesn't work out. I hope it does, I pray it does, I want it to. I'm out there selling.
But just to give you peace of mind, and again, Pat, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
let's say, God forbid, this doesn't work out for Pat, like Ice Time has been there, and is, God willing, it would continue to be there for the next 50 years, so don't look at the downside. Worst case scenario, Venom, they'll say it is no longer there the next couple of years, but Ice Time is gonna continue to be there to provide for the kids, and.
All right, fair enough, but let me ask you a question then, sir.
Sure.
If it's been there, are you saying that you have the collateral to pay back a $160,000 loan? And if you say yes, then I'm gonna ask, why haven't you been putting that into the arena?
I mean, well, there's a few different ways to answer that question, and so I've been there for 3 years as executive, and the place is so dated and so behind, like between ordering 2 Zambonis, needing a chiller, and recently doing repairs to the roof, adding a camera system. We can't keep up to becoming modern. You know, you walk in there, especially if you went in there the last couple of years ago, you feel like you're in the 90s, you know? So as far as welcoming an opportunity like this and focusing on ourselves, focusing on our programs and the property itself, we can't keep up with all that. You're talking a lot of money, like close to 7 figures, you know?
I understand that,
And,
that's why I'm asking the question.
And
So I'm just saying, he said he has made, improvements and he's
Yeah.
going on, but just can't keep up with that
we
time.
can't do it all at
understand
once.
the question.
And, I could go back to 2021, we did $200,000 in blacktop. Last year, we bought a Zamboni. 6 months ago, we did a camera system. Look, we are continuously doing improvements and providing, and an opportunity like this knocks on our doors. We really don't want to turn it away. At the same time, that's why we're here for help. It's not that business is bad, it's just we're trying to do so much at once, and
Clearly, this is a work in progress.
for sure.
It's continuing to build. I believe this 160,000 will make a big difference in helping that effort. I would just point out, if that got missed anywhere, this is a nonprofit that is going to own the facility, right?
Absolutely.
So there's so many reasons, and as Sue just outlined, we have a resolution before us with certain requirements, benefits, and mentions 160,000 grant at this time, and that's really the decision before us tonight. I think there is opportunity to look forward at some point and consider other things and consider risk, but we're really looking at this one resolution and the grant as far as the decision-making goes tonight. Anything else we should add to the discussion or questions? Would anyone care to make a motion?
Make a motion that we approve the grant of $160,000.
Thank you, Susan. Second to that motion by Mark.
I will second it.
Other discussion?
Just want to make sure that the resolution, a friendly amendment, up to $160,000, not 160.
Correct, my apologies, up to $160,000.
And as long as the proper
Steps take
step
place.
place as far as assets and clawback and such that we've discussed.
Are you okay with that, Sue?
Yes.
Okay, any other comments, questions?
I would just like to say, I think it's a good compromise. I think it's the necessities that they need to get open, and we could, go further with it. Ask for the 340. I think this is a good compromise at this time to hang on to this and get this team moving in Orange County.
With that, I would ask for a vote on the motion. I believe it needs to be a roll call.
Yes.
Give us a-
Ready?
Yep.
Jeff
I
Chris,
second.
I'll come back to you. Mark Green,
Yes.
Susan Walski,
Yes,
Giovanni Palladino,
Yes.
Linda Muller,
Yes,
Dean Tamburri,
Yes.
Jeff Christ.
Yes.
6 ayes, motion
So
carries.
we have 6 in favor and the resolution carries. Thank you for everybody's input. We have been working on this for over the last month since the last meeting, but there was work that went in before that too. So I think it's a good cooperative effort to come up with a a nice outcome.
Right, so we'll work with our attorney and with you on the MOU, and we'll get things moving.
All right.
All right?
Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, and best of luck. We wish you great luck.
Thank you, council.
Yes, I think that's all our business for today with the OCFC. Am I missing anything, Sue?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would suggest a motion to
Just need a
adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Very well.
Yeah, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
By Dean, second by Mark, all in favor, please say aye.
Bye.
Opposed? Motion, meeting adjourned. Thank you.